here we go. The king was Ahasuerus. And he was king over the whole Persian Empire at the time. There he is. And the Persians controlled the whole world. And the laws were different then. The king made all the laws. And anything he just said would be law, and nothing, not even the king could even change the laws after he made them. Of course, the king, like all kings, was the ruler over his kingdom. Everybody always did what the king said. Almost. One day, the king was having a big feast. And he had invited all the important people to come to the feast. That's what kings do. Have a feast and hang around with important people. Well, King Ahasuerus wanted to impress everyone. And he knew just how to do it. He would bring his queen, Queen Vashti, to the feast so everybody could see how pretty she was. So the king sent for Queen Vashti to come to his party.
Bring Queen Vashti to my party so everyone can hear her beauty.
So off went the servants to tell the queen the king wanted her to come to the party. But it wasn't long before the servants returned with bad news. The queen wasn't coming to the party.
You're kidding! She's not coming! She can't do that! I'm the king!
But she didn't come, and King Ahasuerus was really mad.
She can't do that! I'm the king! Can she do that?
Well, she did it! And so all the king's servants said, it's time that you got yourself a new queen. What will happen to the whole country when everybody finds out that Queen Vashti won't obey the king's commands?
Oh, my king, we need to find a new queen.
I believe you're right. Let's do it!
So the king commanded that a search be made for a new queen. They had a contest. All of the eligible girls in the kingdom wanted to be queen. They all signed up, and there were so many that the king had to have several houses just to hold all these queen wannabes. Well, one of the girls entered the contest was named Hadassah, but everybody called her Esther. Hadassah was her Jewish name, but the Jews were not accepted in this country, for you see, Esther here had been taken from her own country as a little girl, and she had been carried captive away by King Nebuchadnezzar. Remember him? She had no mother or father, but she had her uncle Mordecai to take care of her.
I want everybody to call you Esther, so I will no longer use your Jewish name.
Why is that, Uncle Mordecai?
The people in this land, they resent us because we're Jews. I want you to have the same chance as everybody else to become queen. So we won't tell anyone that you're Jewish. No.
Whatever you say, Uncle Mordecai.
And so off Esther went to the king's house, and it wasn't long before King Ahasuerus made his choice for queen. And he chose Esther above all the others and made her Queen Esther. Well, not long after Esther was made queen, her uncle Mordecai was sitting at the city gate. And a lot of people hang around this city gate, and Mordecai overheard these men, Bigthan and Teresh, plotting to kill King Ahasuerus. Mordecai, he reported the plot to the king's guards, and Bigthan and Teresh were arrested and thrown away in jail. Now, everything that is important gets written down in a big history book for the king. And And they wrote in this big book how Mordecai had saved the king's life, but no one said anything to the king about it. But later, King Ahasuerus, he will read this book and find out what Mordecai had done. Well, anyway, now every day, Mordecai would come back and sit at the city gate. There he is. And one of the king's chief officials was a fellow named Haman. And, well, the king didn't know any better. He liked Haman and promoted him to the highest authority in the land, except for himself, of course. Haman was not a good fellow, and this new power just went to his head. He started making everybody bow to him when he went by, and everybody would bow. Everybody, that is, except Mordecai. Now, are you really going to make everybody bow to you?
Yep, everybody.
You mean I have to bow to you too?
I said everybody.
What about Mordecai over there?
I said everybody.
Well, now remember, Mordecai was a Jew, and he knew that there was only one God, and that all men are equal before God, so he wouldn't bow. And this made Haman mad. He plotted to get even with Mordecai and have him killed. He went to see the king. Remember, the king still thinks that Haman is a good man.
O King Ahasuerus, there are a type of people in your kingdom who will not bow down to you. Who are these people that will not bow to the king? They are called Jews. I think we need to eliminate all of these troublemakers from your kingdom. You mean kill them all? Shall I make it a law, O king?
And so King Ahasuerus agreed to let Haman make a law that anybody could kill a Jew and take what he owned. And off Haman went to make it so. Well, now remember, Queen Esther, she's a Jew too. She had never told anybody, even King Ahasuerus, about this. And when Mordecai heard what Haman was up to, he sent word to Esther that they had to meet.
Have you heard that wicked law that wicked Haman has made?
No, what is it, Uncle Mordecai?
Haman, he's tricked the good king Ahasuerus into making a law to kill all the Jews in the kingdom, and that's us.
What are we going to do?
Well, hey, I got an idea. You must go to the king. Go to King Ahasuerus and tell him you're also a Jew and the law will destroy you as well as the Jews. And he don't want us to destroy his queen. We're not going to want to do that, no.
But I can't go to the king unless he calls for me. The penalty for that is death, unless the king chooses to raise his golden scepter.
Well, look at it this way. You'll surely die as a Jew at the hand of wicked Haman if you don't go before the king and tell him.
So off Esther went, and for 3 days and nights, she ate nothing, and she prayed, and then she went before the king. And King Ahasuerus raised his golden scepter, and then he said,
What is it that you want, Queen Esther? You may have anything you desire, up to 1/2 of my kingdom.
Only this one request, O king, that you and Haman come to a banquet I am preparing.
oh, and King Ahasuerus and Haman, oh yeah, we'll agree to come. Sure. So Esther returned to her queen's rooms, and Haman, evil Haman, he went home to tell his wife, oh, how lucky he was to be the preparing a banquet just for the king and Haman. Now, Haman could have been real happy except for one thing. Mordecai, that Jew. Mordecai still wouldn't bow down to him. So he decided he was going to have Mordecai killed. And Haman's wife suggested that he be hung from a gallows. So Haman had a gallows 50 feet high built. Now Haman, he was pretty happy, thinking about how he would soon be rid of that old Mordecai the Jew, and he returned to the king's palace to attend the banquet Esther had prepared for them. Now Esther had the king and Haman seated at her table, and she began to tell them why she'd had them come.
I know that King Ahasuerus would never do anything to bring harm to me, your queen.
No, of course not. I would never harm you.
But, King, you have allowed Haman to make a law that will kill me and the people, the Jews.
No, I wouldn't kill you, Queen Esther.
And the only reason Haman made the law was to get even with my uncle, Mordecai the Jew.
I will change the law, and I will have Haman arrested for plotting against me.
What did I do?
You are wicked, Haman. You have built a gallows to hang my uncle Mordecai, the man who saved the king's life.
Take Haman and hang him from his own gallows.
So Haman was hanged, and King Ahasuerus then made Mordecai the highest official in the land. You know, we can see how God can control the lives of even the greatest leaders of the earth, kings and presidents. And God used an orphan Jewish girl to save her people because she was willing to give